Hi everybody, this is foXnoMad, and today I want to help you travel smarter by showing you a tea shop that you must visit if you come to Bundi, India. So Bundi is a town in northwestern India. It's about population about 100,000, which is pretty small as far as Indian cities go. But there's a tea shop that's here in town that you just have to visit. It's got a great story and the tea is very good. So I'm just gonna walk up there from the hotel down here and up to the tea shop, which is along this main road, which is basically the only road going through the middle of Bundi. It's a tiny town, so it used to be a royal town, which is why everything is painted sort of blue. Just gonna walk up to the tea shop and try not to get run over. So one thing I do want to point out is there are all these festivals and musics and parade happening in Bundi at any given time, and that's one of those trucks. So you'll hear a lot of music, a party, it might be a wedding, it might be a festival, it might be some sort of religious holiday, but you do see a lot of those trucks coming up and down this main road. And the tea shop is just over there. Good morning. That is Krishna. So just a couple of things. First, when you walk in, you take your shoes off. So you leave your shoes down on the first step, and then you'll walk up to the second steps. This place holds about a tight fit. It can probably hold 12 people. You've got enough rows and benches for about 6 and 6, and then a little seat up in the front as well. It's about 11, which is pretty early. The tea shop's just starting to get started. But I'll show you around. We've got a very simple setup. So originally this was just a small tea stand, but foreigners, and there are not a lot of tourists that come to Bundi, but a lot of the foreigners that came here were just really taken with the tea also being so good, but also Krishna's smile and personality is very, very positive, and it really rubs off on you. So people came and they decided to take this and they started painting it. So they started painting and putting different kinds of murals up there, and you can see it's pretty much free to paint, but putting all this decoration here drew a lot of people into it. People made him a Facebook page, and he's got even an Instagram and even a Twitter and maybe a YouTube, and he's on TripAdvisor as well. So that made the tea shop really popular. Power. I mean, how can you not like that smile? So a couple of things to note. One is that the water is filtered, so you don't have to worry about the water. It's filtered. It's got a huge jug of filtered water. He washes all of the cups and the glasses, so those are ready. And there are a couple of different types of tea. So he's got a tea that's for cold. So if you've got a cold, or maybe you've got a little bit of oh, hello. So he's got tea for a cold. There's also the traditional masala chai, which is a spiced tea, which you might be familiar with, which has milk and a lot of different spices. Also regular tea, and they also have a bang tea, which has some hashish in it, but that's a little bit special and for the evening. And he'll make it light. He'll make it light for different kinds of foreigners. So he has a taste of what foreign people want. So if you don't want a lot of sugar, or if you want a lot of sugar, he'll adjust it to that. So I'm gonna have him make one of the ginger lemon tea, which he's really good at, so I'll have one of those. And he knows just how much to let the water boil, so if you watch it, he just knows the timing for how long the water should boil to get all the flavor out from the different spices, and then add it into your cup right away so it's warm. And as you're drinking the tea, he'll usually top it off with a little bit that's left over from the pot that he originally made. It takes about 20 minutes or so to get your drink, so it's definitely something that requires a little bit of patience, so you don't just grab your tea. You're going to spend about 20 minutes while Krishna makes the tea for you. So you can see some of the spices that he's putting in the tea. So you've got, first starts with a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of cinnamon. There's the cinnamon, he's grinding the cinnamon. and a little bit of ginger, and he's grinding all that stuff right up on the floor right in front of him. He's basically sitting in this position pretty much from 10 a.m. to about 10 p.m. every day. So it's pretty impressive. He's got a small little kettle where he's putting in the ingredients and boiling them. Krishna's mother just stopped by. So Krishna's been here as long as I can remember, at least 20 years making tea, but this shop itself is pretty new. How many years here?
1999.
1999. So grinding the ginger, adding the lemon, it's honey, lemon, ginger, so obviously it has both. So he's all just doing that, adding it up right here. It takes about 10 minutes for you to get your tea. So he's just filtering out the little bits of ginger and the black pepper and the bigger chunks of the cinnamon. Filtering that out into the tea, waiting for it to settle. Giving it a few minutes to all cook and allow it to absorb all of the flavors. Not too sweet, just enough honey, a strong ginger taste, but it's definitely the best tea. Bundi, and I mean, look at that smile. You just can't resist that smile. So it's a nice experience as well. Tea is about 50 rupees, I think. So it's not very expensive at all. Come here basically from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So he's got a whole bunch of different things that he sells. He even has some artwork that he sells in the back, as well as postcards. He also makes a variety of different types of lassi, which is a yogurt-based drink with fruits, sugar, and there are all kinds of different flavors that you can request. Krishna doesn't speak a lot of English, but he'll get the point when you let him know what you want. Obviously the menu items, whether you want a little bit of sugar, and I would suggest that most people are gonna want just a tiny bit of sugar compared to what locals have. Usually they have about 12 spoons of sugar in 2 glasses of tea. So you're gonna want a little bit less, and he'll even do it without any sugar and just add honey as the sweetener to the drinks, which you probably want with the ginger tea because the ginger taste is just so strong. So you're from Bundi?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Rohit.
Rohit. And the tea at Krishna's is good?
Oh, very nice.
What do you, your favorite?
Lemon tea.
Lemon tea.
Yeah.
Good. It's a nice city. I like it.
It's a peaceful city. No pollutions.
Nice. Yeah.
Just calm down.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And perhaps not surprising is, in the last 2 years or so, I've noticed all these other different tea shops opening up just around Krishna. They're sort of trying to really, they've got the same signage, they're trying to do the same sort of style they painted on the walls. So they've noticed the success that he's had, and they've really tried to copy what he's done here. But one of the things that's really missing from them is his personality, first of all, and the quality of the tea making. So the spices that he makes, you can really taste the flavor that's coming out in all the spices into the tea. Really is a difference. I've had tea all up and down this street. This is by far the best one. The others are just sort of trying to copy off the look, but without really having his personality, without having Krishna, and without having the quality of the actual tea. They've not really done such a good job. But like I said, if you're walking up and down the street, they all try to pull you in before you come here. But definitely come to Krishna's, you won't be disappointed. So you can see that foam that's coming up from the boiled masala chai, which has a lot of milk in it. So you can see that froth that's coming up from the masala chai, just that froth as he's boiling and boiling the tea. Again, it's a spiced tea. Chai means tea in Hindi, so when you say chai tea, it really just means tea. When most people think of chai, what they're talking about is this masala, which is a spiced tea. So a masala chai, which is a spiced tea which Krishna makes here. He's got all the spices right behind him, and in this back room where he just takes out the right amount, he grinds those up with this stone that he's had here. It's probably the same stone he's been using for over 20 years, so he uses that to grind up the different ingredients, sprinkle those into the pot, into the boiling water in a very specific order. So I've noticed he puts the same ingredients in the same order so that they all have the same cooking time. So he'll put the black pepper in first, and then he'll grind up the cinnamon, and then lastly with the ginger, so we'll add that, and the honey is the last thing to come in. When all that stuff is in the pot, he's gonna cook it. It's gonna cook for a few minutes, so Krishna knows the timing very well. He'll cook that, and then using the strainer, he'll pour that into a glass just for you, into these tall glasses. Locals usually get a glass that's about half full, but for foreigners and for tourists, he'll give these bigger glasses so you can enjoy a little bit more tea or chai or lassi or whatever you happen to be here to drink. And just that smile is so contagious that it's definitely worth coming here when you're in Bundi. And if you haven't heard of Bundi or you haven't been to Bundi, if you're in this part of Rajasthan, India, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lot slower pace of life. This place doesn't get a lot of tourists. There's a massive palace just up on the hill that you can go explore. It's a very chill, relaxed town. There's only a couple places to eat. There are some good hotel options here. If you want to know any of those, just let me know in the comments below and I'll let you know my suggestions. And after spending a little bit of time in India, you might want just to take a little bit of a break. So Udaipur is slightly nearby, or you can get here by Jaipur as well by car. It's about 3.5 hours from those cities, a little bit further from Udaipur, but it's a nice place to have a smaller sort of village, small town vibe, and you can relax. Sort of a nice place. You can just stroll up and down this small street, have some tea at Krishna's, and enjoy your stay. Thanks very much for watching this video. I'll leave where you can find Krishna's down in the description below, and while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But there's a tea shop that's here. But there's a tea fast boil. So he brings the water up to a slow boil, same order to give them a very same. So I'm just kind of stroll up and down the one street. So a nice place to just. So you can see that foam when he makes masala chai, the milk